What were the conditions that you were experiencing? Obviously, you have a fort that was built for maybe 4,000 to 6,000 people, and there's now 60 to 80,000
yes.
living in this place.
It was very, very tight. They built huts. We slept in bunk beds. We basically were lying directly on wood. We had straw mattresses, but there was very little straw in the mattresses. At night, especially in the summer, there were bed bugs, there were fleas, there were lice. We didn't get real soap. I think once a month we got something called substitute soap, but it wasn't enough. There were many people that got typhus. They were shaved, and some of them survived, but many died from typhus. The prevalent deaths were caused by starvation and typhus.
You lost your father. He died, 6 months into your ordeal, and they were trying to say that he was just sick and he just died, but that's not the true story.
Oh no. It was very hard for my father suddenly to do road work, heavy road work. He was an attorney. He was used to working in an office. He was used to litigating in a courthouse. And suddenly in the beginning of the winter, he had to be out there digging ditches. From a witness, I heard that there was a guard that came up to him and literally tore his winter coat off him. "You don't work with a winter coat," the guard said. He took the coat. My father was cold, got very little to eat. From the same witness, I was told that my father was physically abused. He was kicked, he was whipped. It's very, very hard for me to accept that. I'm well aware that this was typical, and many Jewish people were treated like that. But when you hear about it, about your own father, it's very, very difficult to accept. He was sent to an infirmary. He had lost 50% of his body weight. They tried to save him, they meaning doctors. They had great, great doctors, very capable doctors from many different countries. But they didn't have the medical supplies that they needed. And after 6 months, less than 6 months in camp, after being married less than 10 years to my mother, he passed away, obviously from starvation, malnutrition. Obviously, there was no way the Nazis were going to list that on the death certificate.
Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac, his only son of promise, when suddenly he heard the angel of the Lord tell him to stop. He looked up and saw a ram caught in a thicket. The Lord provided a substitute that day, which pictured God's rescue plan for us. His plan? He would provide himself a lamb one day. Jesus, a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, and David, said, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved." Jesus was called the Lamb of God, which takes away the sin of the world.